Welcome, everyone. This is Polly of Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Hello there, Terry. And this week we have another update. You have the update 30.3.2 release. Another part of the Blood of Azog. And there are, of course, updates to the Brawler.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Brawler taunts now jump brawlers to the top of the enemy's threat list when used. And that's useful in a taunt.
I guess you just want to be really careful with it so you're not taunting the wrong thing.
Well,
is it a single target taunt? My brawler's like level 13. I don't know all these skills.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the tanking line, so I.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have any of the
tank line?
What?
Do you only get it in the tank line?
I would presume so, because why would you taunt in the DPS line?
Oh, sometimes you just need it to get something facing you so you can punch it in the nose. I mean, champions have a single target taunt, even it's just a regular class skill, regardless of what line they're in.
Well, I haven't run into any taunts yet. Either that or I didn't pay close enough attention to all the skills to know that one was a taunt. So my guess for now is that it is in the blue line. Now, I guess I'll just have to go and check it to see if it's there.
I mean, do you have a really high level brawler, or you're still babies too?
I'm at 45.
You still got a little bit of time to get skills. I mean, you get new skills all the way up to 50 something.
Yeah. I think by 50, you're going to have at least, if you're going to have a taunt, you would have to have at least one of them by the time you are 50, considering that instances and the like.
True.
Also, brawler damage has been significantly increased. We will continue to monitor brawler DPS output. I guess this must be more on the high end, because I didn't notice any troubles on the low end on the brawlers. But since I haven't played a high-end brawler, I will assume that
I play brawler in a group, so I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, if you got 5 brawlers pounding things in a group, it's
gonna die regardless.
It's gonna die regardless, yes. Fixed an issue that caused some brawlers set armor pieces to require Bjorning in order to equip. That's a problem. The brawler toggle skill aggressive posture and defensive posture are no longer cancelled when the brawler is stunned. The particle effects shown around the brawler character to indicate metal status will no longer display when out of combat.
Probably a good idea.
All right. And then as for champions, tiers 4 and 5 of Rend now upgrade correctly, and an initial damage pulse has been added to make Rend more useful when reapplied early.
Okay. That's yellow line. I don't use Rend.
Oh, okay. You don't use Rend because it's yellow line.
I almost never run in yellow. And you only get Rend in yellow.
All right. And it's something so deep in the tree, it's nothing worse.
No, you only get it in yellow.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's a skill that it's the fervor building skill that you only get in yellow, just like there's one you only get in red too.
Okay.
Two swap places.
All right.
So yeah, you only, because I'm pretty deep into the yellow line on Terry. She's kind of orange in her traits.
Right. The oranges. Let's then head into legendary items. New legendary item drops from instances will now only be found when playing the instance in your character's general level range. These level ranges are 50 to 85, 86 to 100, 101 to 105, 106 to 115, 116 to 120, and 121 to 130, and of course eventually 130 to, 130.
It'll be 131 to
Yeah, probably
140.
131 to 140. From levels 101 and above, incomparable and legendary rarity drops will only be found when playing at the next level cap or higher. This means that a level 110 character must be running instances at 115 to 119 difficulty, and a level 130 from 130 to 139 difficulty.
That's weird.
These restrictions do not apply to quest or reward track rewards, only instance rewards. This has to do with, this is because you don't want someone to be running a 121 dungeon and getting gold items for it, because a 130 running 121 content and getting gold traceries is, it did sound a little bit dodgy. That,
Yeah, but a level 110 character has to run something at 5 to 9 levels higher, which is kind of silly.
well, yeah, they'd have to run at 150. Yeah, because they're not yet, because the idea is that you run it at the level cap of the range you're in.
Yeah,
So
it's just weird.
it's just, well, if you're at 110, you'd probably be able to do with go be do with blue or purple ones anyway, I would think. I know people like to start hoarding them early. Yeah. All right. And Starlight crystals can no longer be used on any legendary items, but now can be disenchanted into enchantment runes to improve trace rays in the new legendary item system. I should note that there is a known issue that Omphalos Starlight crystals are not being deconned properly. So please, if you have an Omphalos Starlight crystal, don't decon it yet until they fix that issue. Because right now I think they are deconning them to level 100, I think, runes or something like that, regardless of what your level is. And it's probably down in the known issues area. And it's not down in the known issues area
Mm-mm.
yet. But anyway, if you got a Unfollow Starlight Crystal, don't decon it yet because there is a fix coming out for that. Reforging legendary items will now update the min usage level on the legendary item, and this will allow legendary items to scale properly in epic battles and in the End Wars. From what I heard, the scaling was way, way off because their min level was 45. So if you went in, I guess, at 90 and you went to the Moors, it says, oh, this is level 90 using a level 45 item. So it'll kill it on the rescaling because they're saying you're using too low level of an item for it, so you shouldn't be scaled up any better. So they'll have to fix that up. Actually, no, this is, now they are happening properly so that it would, but in the past, of course, it was a bit of a problem. So slotting bound to account essences should no longer incorrectly bind gear to your character.
Also weird,
Yeah.
because binding essence is always bound stuff to your character. That was how the whole thing worked. Weird.
Well, yeah, most essences were bound to character, and apparently they're talking about bound to account essences.
Yes, but if you're slotting it into a piece of gear that your character is going to be using, then why is it a problem if it binds to your character?
Yeah, that does sound a little bit strange, but you do have a point there. Quests and adventure areas, War Pen's experience and gold awards are now more commensurate with their runtime and difficulty.
I wonder what that means.
And that means that no more. I believe that War Pens was awarding XP that was a bit high for instances at its level, and that people were using that as a power leveling mechanism.
Uh-huh.
I think I kept on hearing people saying, "Oh, you want to level up quickly? Do Warg Pens." So I'm going to assume that that's the reason for that. And as for miscellaneous, we've made a server configuration change that aims to address a possible issue with game performance. We'd appreciate any feedback you wish to provide following the change. I don't know, the last couple of days I felt I felt that the performance was a little bit poorer than usual.
A little slow, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's some other issue because it's Halloween weekend, or if the update had the reverse than intended effect. Guess we'll maybe find out next week on how the server performs. But that's it for our release note. Now, they also made a note that there have been several reports that infused gems were not dropping. And in case you don't know what are infused gems, these are those gems that drop in Moria that are used for those instances in Dolphin View and also the ones at Echad-Dunan.
Yeah.
And they have not been dropping those things. I guess I've noticed that
I have those hoarded.
Yes, that's the only reason I've been able to run those instances because, for example, today I had a character that wanted to run the training hall. So I looked at all of my characters and say, okay, do any of these have any of these gems in their slots? So I logged onto a character that had the gems that was way over level. I transferred them into the shared bank and brought them over, so I was able to run them.
Funny story. That's those instances are how Sarissa actually managed to finish her Burgle deed.
It was?
Well, she was coming up with a group, and they would never let her. They would never stop to let her pick stuff pockets.
Right.
So we got into Moria, and we were tortoise for ages. So I would run not just the training halls, but any of the ones with the humanoid, anything with pickable pockets, I would run those. Yeah, because the Burgle deed is like 500 pickpockets or something crazy like that. And if your group isn't stopping to let you pick stuff's pockets, it can be very hard to accomplish. So, yeah, I finished that deed in Moria. In those instances, because I didn't do it for the LI stuff because I didn't need LI stuff because level 50 whatever. And at the time LIs weren't important because it was the old LI system, and you were swapping out your LIs like every other week. and
Moria, yeah.
And it wasn't an XP thing because we weren't leveling up, so it was just it was just getting in there and getting the burgles done.
Getting the burgles done. I guess those mithril miners were just wondering why does all this?
Let me tell you, you find some weird stuff in those pockets.
Oh, you do.
You do. Well, the loot table for Burgle is a different loot table than whatever you get when you kill the thing.
Yes, I remember once getting a dagger that does fire damage while burgling.
You get boots. You get pants.
Yeah.
Pants are popular. I don't know why pants are such popular loot in Middle Earth. It's like everybody's running around with no pants on because you're either picking their pockets and taking out their spare pants, or they're giving you their spare pants.
Yes. I don't know. I just thinking of one of those Harry Blackstone tricks where he just pulls off some article of clothing from the person. Yes. Let's now head on to Bull Roarer. This is Bull Roarer Update 31 Beta number 2. So this is the second one relating to the fate of Gundabad. And so the updates for Beta number 2 are, for General, bumped the tactical damage bonus on new allies 10% going into Gundabad to bring them more in line with the bump of physical damage weapon, Scott. Right? And brawlers can now use Madam Hunter's armor selection packages to select a level-appropriate piece of heavy armor.
Ooh. I should
Why?
use those more. I have like 50 bazillion of those in my shared storage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Why weren't they? Yeah, but of course, these are the Bulwer release notes, not the
Yeah,
live
I
release
know.
notes. Yeah,
I always forget that I have them.
yeah. I'm just wondering why weren't they? But they weren't able to use them before.
I don't know.
I guess I didn't try to open up a Matham Hunters package on a brawler yet. Adventure's loot box gear for level 131 to 140 characters should now appropriate be of item level 450 457. That adventure loot boxes should now occasionally and correctly drop level 131 to from 131 to 140 monsters. I guess they weren't dropping. Adventurers and Traveler Steel bound loot boxes now have a new Heartwood cosmetic items, including avatar cosmetics, cosmetic pets, housing items, and a steed and matching war steed appearances. These items are also available on Myrtle Mint for Figments of Splendor. And crafted captain ornaments should now have the proper Herald Plus armor stats for crafting tiers 11 to 14. Tiers 11 to 14 Herald armaments now also grant a small amount of outgoing healing on the equipping captain. As for classes, Hunters reduced to a quick shot skill damage back to where it was before the LI changes. Hunter precision stance crit magnitude bonus reduced. Guardian to the rescue auto crit effect was not working properly. Lore Master critical coordination auto crit effect was not working properly. And on the Captain, Master of War stacking crit chance buff now works properly for ranged and tactical skills. And in Monster Play, removed backdoors to keeps in the Ettenmoors.
What?
What? Wait,
They removed. Why did they remove the back doors?
because apparently there were a lot of problems being created by those back doors.
Well, yeah, but okay, that's gonna
And
make things interesting.
yeah, so those back doors are no longer going to be
I
there.
mean, you can still jump off the building if you're really in trouble, so it's not that big a deal.
Increased War Leader and Reaver melee skill range to 5.2 and added one-shotters to Galandvrag.
I wonder if that means the one-shot radius is further out now.
Oh, it means it's further out?
I don't know.
That I don't. I think the main reason for that is that they had apparently sometimes the Freeps were able to sneak into Glandreich. So I think they were mainly there to deter that, since if they managed to get in, they'd run into the one-shotters. And that's it for the update for the second round of beta. So let's head into the beacon. LOTRO beacon number 224, where Cosmetic LOTRO has an outfit fit for Halloween.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my goodness gracious. Looks like Batgirl's costume.
I love the wings. I gotta remember to actually get them this time around because I keep missing them because I'm not festivaling. Because they made festival cosmetics bind to account, so I stopped doing festivals. Well, part of my love of festivals was that you could get cosmetics that you could then share with friends if they happened to miss said festival, and you can't do that anymore. So, yeah, I haven't been doing festivals.
All right. And trick or treat with other LOTRO players on Gladden. The Green-Eyed Gamer is having a costume event and more. Well, that was today on
today.
Andrevo.
Most of the stuff was today.
Yeah. Lena previews Gundabad, and you can read more about this in Lena's Biscuity Burrow blog. And the Grand Order of the Lost Madam are celebrating their 14th anniversary on November 7th. You can get more information about this event on Laurelin on their website. And as for concerts, Hellfest 2 takes place this weekend on Serranus. Obviously, that's already done. And the White Flame presented a concert on Laurelin called The Night Before All Hallows Eve. So I would presume that was today.
Yeah. And
Pumpkin Jam
today
also had something on Brandywine. I guess you could check their links to see if any of those items were recorded. So, what's the best candy in Middle Earth?
I don't know what any of the candies are in Middle Earth.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You get them on the doormats, but I don't actually remember what they were.
That's right. And I don't think I've ever done that particular quest, so
I did it once. Sands and Cinders kind of dragged me around. Was it last year? Was the first year it came out? So on Sarissa, so Sarissa actually still has a costume left over.
Okay.
Let's see. They have honey bears, apple goblins, jam tarts, mint turtles, ant bark, marshmallows, licorice twists, and Mad Baggins Gold. I'm gonna go with marshmallows because I really like marshmallows.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cinders has mint turtles.
Yeah,
and it was 2 years ago.
Yes, I think mint turtle sounds like a good one there.
Not if they're anything like regular turtles, because regular turtles have caramel in them, and I can't imagine caramel and mint. Just no.
Oh,
no.
Okay. I guess I didn't know that there was a candy called turtles.
You've never heard of turtles?
No.
They're so you put the peanuts in the corners so that they're like the legs and the head for the turtle, and then you cover it in caramel to bind it all together, and then you cover that in chocolate, and that's a turtle.
I'll go with the marshmallows then.
Yeah, the costumes are great because you pull a random costume out of a grab bag, and you can be like an orc or the Witch King or something else. It's really and then you can barter for a permanent version of said costumes. And Emelina has the Witch King, and it's hilarious to see this little hobbit-sized Witch King running around. I mean, it is really, really funny. If you've never seen those costumes, they're great.
So if you see a micro Witch King around, it's someone in a Halloween costume. And looks more like the Witch King than the Black Rider of Budgeford. Let's head into the fan site news. Last week we found All Things Blue. And Kara Cavalorum Gaming continues looking into the Shire Brewmaster title. BioBreak has a very hobbity Halloween. Fibro Jedi has all the info you'll need for the Harvest Fest Festival as usual. And Calabathian continues a Berg's Tale. We'll talk about that later. Druid's Fire is raising money for Extra Life with a special multi-game stream on, well, that was Saturday. LOTRO Stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Uger has a brawler fun. Elgaldwin brawls on Landreval, and Red Baron is a champion in Mirkwood. Also on Twitch, Zaga gets to 130. Geek just in time for Gundabad. Geek Bike previews Gundabad, and King Matthew 82 sightsees. Over on YouTube, Elder Gamer Girl runs Hiding in the Dark. Gaemoliodan plays through Bloodwing, and Menopause enters Mordor. So let's have a look at the screenshot of the week, where Ninarwen from the Oathsworn of the Secret Fire kinship of Gladden marvels at the glistening cavern in the haunted farmhouse's basement in this week's screenshot of the week. Submit your screenshot for consideration by emailing LOTRO at StandingStoneGames.com. And that is it for this week's Beacon. So we have store sales as usual. What's on sale this week?
Well, the weekly coupon gets you a 10% run speed boost times 5 with coupon code Gotta Go Fast now through November 4th. And 25% off character slots, veteran status, stat packages, and XP boosts also through November 4th. And then this is also the final weekend for Harvest Math. This weekend is LOTRO bonus days, so we get 25% XP. And the curator is going away after November 2nd, so barter for those cosmetics while you can.
While you can, yes. And I heard that you were able to take advantage of at least one of the sales this week.
Yeah, veteran status.
Yeah.
Which is actually one of the most commonly things. It's one of the most common things that I get out of the LOTRO store is veteran status. I have done the intro enough times. I don't want to do it all the time, so veteran status. Which is hilarious because if you open all of your XP things and you have all of the XP things, which technically I don't have all of the XP things because I don't have the back item, but with 2 earrings and the pocket, and then I took veteran status and I ended up level 6 halfway to 7.
So it does affect the veteran status then?
Yes.
Then
it's basically just an XP dump that it gives you. So
it just gives you an XP dump to that up to level. Yeah, what you would need in order to get to level 5, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right, level 5 plus gives you a couple of flags so you can get out of the intro. Then let's into our site news, where, as mentioned in the weekend, we have A Burke's Tale, Chapter 24.
Which is great, because not only do they finally meet Radagast, we also have the introduction of a couple more characters, which I suggested to her, so I'm actually really pleased to see them finally make it into the story.
Finally make it into the story.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be quite a cast of characters we're going to have.
Yeah, if you thought Gammer was nuts before, now you really know she's nuts.
Also, we have this week from The Bearded Minstrel. We've got The Legacy of Durin's Folk, Part 3, The Dwarves of the Iron Hills. So he's been going through the story of the Black Book of Mordor, and the various groups of dwarves are with him. Thus, part 1, he was with the dwarves of Mordor for the stout axes. In part 2, he was talking about Erebor. Now, in part 3, of course, we do have Durin appearing in there, but of course, we also have the introduction of the Jelruka. So I'm trying to think, I guess, is part 4 going to be set into the Grey Mountains, perhaps? Because that would be the most likely thing, because that sounds like it'll be a pretty long episode covering because a great deal happens up in the Grey Mountains, because you have that war against Hrimel Frost.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have that, and then, of course, the beginning of the
I really hope we finally manage to take down that dragon. I'm so ready for it.
You know that's going to be in a raid.
Well, I don't care. because they'll talk about it story-wise, and it will at least be over. They'll gloss over it in the story, and they'll be like, "Yep, this is what happened. We can move on now."
This is what happened. We are
I just
finally
want it to be done.
You want to be done. Let's get rid of that dragon.
I'm so tired of dealing with her.
You get a point there. That dragon has been obtained for quite a while. Less than headed
because I want to be done with dwarves and I want to go to the east. Please, please. I want to go to see what's going on in Rune.
Yes. Because that's what we're going to be making this. That's what we're guessing at. They haven't announced, of course, where they're going next, but Rune would be a real nice place.
They're going to go north of Forhel next.
I don't want to go north of Forhel.
Can you imagine the frustrated sound that everybody will make if they announce they're going north of Forhel?
Oh, yeah, I can hear these. They're saying, well, why isn't anyone buying this XP quest? Buying this region, yes. It doesn't sound like it'll be in the top list of places to go to. Because, let's see, you have that. So I would say either Rune or Nirn are the two most likely places. I got the impression.
I would settle for Nirn too, actually. At more Mordor, I can deal with more Mordor. We've had a break from Mordor, so
right.
We can, and
it's a habitable point of though it's
like the farmlands of Mordor. So
yeah, I was about to say the Kansas of Mordor,
kind of,
yeah.
The Kansas of Mordor. Well, it's really kind of interesting to me to see, because obviously Mordor was getting its food from somewhere. I mean, not great food, obviously, but they weren't hunting all of the nasty, evil beasts that they keep trying to make us hunt when we go there. that the stupid Gondorians are trying to make us eat, and
yes.
the things that live in Mordor know better than to hunt the wildlife. Okay, so there's it's probably still fertilized with evil farmland. I mean, I don't know that I would eat anything that comes out of any part of Mordor. And I'm also not an orc, so.
Well, we'll have to see. I'm not too sure who usually ate the stuff that was coming out of Nirn and what the orcs normally ate and stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't know, but
I figure Nirn or Rune sound like the two most likely spots to head for. But I guess we'll find out. Probably, my guess is that late January, early February is when they'll start to announce what's coming after Gundabad.
Yeah, well, we got to get through Gundabad first.
Yes, first let's survive Gundabad.
So, suck it up and deal with more dwarves.
Yes. Well, what were you up to this week?
Well, this week, as you know, Axley and Friends did the LI thing, which was actually... so that update went live, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. And this is actually my first LI that I actually dealt with in the new system. And fortunately, Sans was able to talk me through it, so I didn't have a complete another meltdown, because there's no kind of help whatsoever in how to get it done.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, is there when you're just starting new LI? Is there some kind of guide for that? Because the system is still really clunky.
Well,
it's not at all intuitive.
If you're doing it through regular leveling, coming up through the 45 range, you get about as much of a tutorial as you got with the old LI system.
Well, you got no tutorial with the old LI system. They ran you all over Aerador. Go here. Go level it. Go here. Go here. Go talk to this person. I mean, if you paid attention to the text, it was a tutorial. Yeah, so, and then we went back to Rohan because we stopped in Harwick, and because we haven't played on them in forever and we were going into further Rohan, we took the Worsted tutorial at my recommendation, because I always like to, if you've been not on a Worsted, like not doing any kind of mounted combat, I like to go back and do the refresher, because it reminds me how I'm actually supposed to move in mounted combat.
Yes.
So the tutorial is good as a refresher, and it doesn't take very long. Although it took a little bit longer because I got into the tutorial and discovered that my war steed didn't have any cosmetics on. So I had to play with cosmetics. But we also discovered that the Fateful Thunderboar has matching war steed cosmetics, and if you put that whole set on your war steed, it makes the thunder sound that the Thunderboar makes, and it also sparks, which is awesome. Yeah. So not only do I have a fire starting boar, I have a fire starting war steed. And then we followed up his epic storyline further into Rohan. We did the race, and we did some other stuff, and we went up into. We stopped at what's the name of that town?
Floodwind?
No, north of Floodwind. With the guy that's the thing that's a jerk. That's trying to marry the woman whose husband he killed.
Oh! You're talking about that thing in Cliving.
Cliving, thank you. Like, I know the name of this village. What the heck is the name of this village? Yeah, so Cliving is where we left off. And we're not getting pulled into any of that drama because just no. We did check out a couple of war bands, though, and that was fun.
Yeah, that was... Though we were a little bit unexpected when we ran into the troll.
Well, I ran across the troll on accident.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the dot until I had run over it. And then it pops up the quest in my face. And the troll's like running after me, and I went, help! because you guys were ahead of me, and you had to like double back and help me out. But we killed the troll, which normally takes more people to kill the troll, so we actually did pretty good.
I thought that was a small fellowship.
It's a small fellowship, but usually it takes more than a small fellowship.
Oh, okay.
I've done it before, and it's taken more than it's taken more than a small fellowship.
Yeah, I think I've soloed it. It's just that it takes forever.
I actually got off of my horse and went toe to toe with him that last little bit because I was so tired of just running around. Well, we had aggroed half the landscape at that point.
Yeah, there is that.
So I just dismounted and I was swinging wildly at everything because dwarf champion, that's what you do.
Right.
But having done the LI thing actually gave me the confidence to suck it up and do the LI thing on Terry, which weirdly didn't take as long as it did on Axley, except using the enhancement runes, they got to fix it because it's so painful to drag it to every single one of the things that you have to level up. I mean, it's nice that they let you use multiples so you don't have to drag every single one. Right. So, I mean, that's an improvement from the old LI pill system where you had to click every single one and then just assign it. So it's a little better, but yeah, it's still not great. And then I promptly used the pine leaf method for testing it out because this is how you test out how powerful you are after you've upgraded your equipment, right? You run a skirmish. So I ran a skirmish. I did Strike Against Dananglor. And I said, aside from the fact that I now have like no crit defense, I didn't have lots of crit defense before, so I'm not feeling the loss, the fact that number is now 0. So I ran Strike Against Dananglor, just basic solo tier 1. And I cleared it with counterattacks and encounters. I cleared it in just over 5 minutes, which is the fastest clear I've done in a long time, long time, since like before the level cap went up to 105. So yeah, I'm feeling it's definitely an improvement, and I'm slowly working on cycling through everybody else who has LIs. I got Sarissa's done and was disappointed because I actually ran out of the currency that you barter for the enhancement runes because her weapons weren't maxed, so she didn't get like all of the things. So I have to barter for more, and I ran out of the currency, so now I'm looking for stuff that I can deconstruct to get more of the currency because I know I've got some somewhere. And then I made it to the academy last night and got to run around on a bunch of typed in burglars, but that's actually brawlers. Bunch of brawlers. Which led to like the best sound effects ever. We did we did that quest for Geribert Chook. You have to go in his house and it's full of rats, and it led to squeak squeak punch punch punch. I love the sound effects for the burglar. I just love it. Like sound effects for Champion are great too. Shing shing, and the thundering, devastating strike and all of that fun stuff. But I gotta tell you that just that smacking sound is great, especially when it's in multiples because you've got like 4 or 5 brawlers wailing on the same thing. Also, watching watching everybody's mugs fly across the landscape to pull the same thing is also really funny. Uh, like you're in the middle of punching something and you turn your head and all of a sudden the mug goes whizzing past your shoulder. It's just great. And then outside of LOTRO, I haven't been doing lots because my laptop has been down, but I've been playing a lot of Craft the World. The Halloween stuff is in the game, so it's not like an update type of thing. It's just something that kicks on internally in the game. It's a timer based thing, so it comes on at Halloween. It also comes on if there's like a Friday the 13th. So the first time I actually ever saw it was not a Halloween. It was a Friday the 13th. And it's so you get you get extra zombie waves and the zombies are in costume. Like they're dressed up as Dracula and a cheerleader and a witch and I forget what the other one is. It's really funny. And then you get these growing pumpkin lights that you can cut down and put in your house. And then the trees go all spooky creepy. And then they drop extra things, which is Halloween themed food, which is funny. And then I also picked up the luxury DLC on House Flipper, but I haven't really had a chance to do much with it yet. I started the first mission and got stuck on something that wasn't quite working right. And that was on the old machine, so I don't know if it was an old machine thing or if it was just a not working right thing. So I haven't played it yet on the new machine. So Pineleaf, what have you been up to?
I'll begin with my Honor Warden, who is in Mordor, and I spent some time searching for a burning skull, which of course is the part of the Black Book of Mordor when you're trying to find the Girzil and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I managed to get through there. Actually, I don't think I had too much trouble getting through because usually I remember going through there being a very, very tough experience. So I was surprised how easily I managed to get in there. Now, I didn't run into too many mobs, which might be one of the reasons in there. I managed to sidestep most of them. And my Langeville Brawler reached level 45, and I'm just starting the third of the class quest, the one where you've got where we got to find all of those items in there. And this finally answers the question on why they had this stand-in for a brawler on Trader's Wharf.
Oh, okay.
And that's because the level 45 class quest is all centered around the Wildwood.
Interesting.
I guess because it's an area that hasn't had 5 or 6 other classes already going into that area.
Sure.
Right, so all of the first round is all in the Wildwood. I haven't had a chance to actually do any parts of that quest yet, so I'm waiting to see how that works. But at least I don't have to go into the depths of the giants in the Misty Mountains or go deep into Forhell or anything like that. And since I'm level 45, it's a perfect time for me to start on the Wildwood anyway. So those vines, those roots, of course, are still as annoying as ever, which, of course, is always a little problem there.
Yeah.
And the one thing I did notice, though, about those roots was that when I killed one, I started seeing, all right, I was incrementing this quest. I assumed that was one of the quests that I picked up from the Ent. And then when I got to Trader's Wharf and I was looking at it, I said, no, it wasn't a quest I had picked up from the end. The quest I saw that was ticking up there was Under the Shadow of Giants, because I never finished that quest in the Old Forest, and
Oops.
apparently the Wildwood qualify. The roots in the Wildwood qualify for that quest
Sure.
because they are roots in Bree, even
Yep.
though the quest text says Old Forest.
I would take it.
Yeah. Oh, of course, sort of the same thing as like the wasps counting as flies. Yes. And overall land, that's where I would talk about that one. And then I also recorded the November Minecraft Hardcore Challenge. I'm doing it this month with a group. So this is the first time I've done the MHC in a group. So I was doing it with two of the members of the Damsels of DDO, Lessa, Amora, and Mithri. So we all went together with the quest of trying to find enough diamonds to make a full set of armor. That was the challenge for this month, to do that in 9 days. And that's what I did this week. Our top supporter this month is LOTRObills.com. LOTRObills.com is a full LOTRO database that includes an items database, a relics database, and a titles database. You could use it right from your Discord server with LOTRObuild bot. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week. If you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast@LOTROplayers.com. You can also set to Twitter. The Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Arendis at Arendis, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, Sanswinda at Sanswinda, Adwin at Terry Adwin, Guarendis at Guarendis, and Calabathian at Calabathian. The Players Alliance has two shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can source for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight then. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.